Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time doing another SpongeBob episode review. And this one is on the SpongeBob Season 4 episode, Once Bitten. Now, Once Bitten is meant to be obviously an episode from Season 4, which aired in, obviously, America in September the 29th, 2006, well, in November the 17th, aired in UK and Dublin in 2006. I know a lot of people tend to say that of the SpongeBob movie, a lot of the episodes feel flanderized and so forth, which I don't think was true because there was some good SpongeBob episodes after the movie. It sort of depended on how long you stayed and what episode you found to be your sort of slice of cake. And the best way I can see the SpongeBob episode Once Bitten is pointing out the dangers of jumping to conclusions if you think you've been bitten by someone's pet or someone's animal that they're looking after, thinking that you have things like rabies and other animal-like symptoms. And the premise of the episode is meant to follow, obviously, Squidward, who obviously gets annoyed and fed up with Gary entering his property every time and expects SpongeBob to obviously sort Gary out. But we kind of see how Gary unintentionally bites him on the butt, and we see how he asks SpongeBob for any other vaccinations that Gary had, until Patrick obviously overhears this and asks about mad snail disease. And this does cause Squidward to jump to conclusions, thinking that he caught the disease, without going to a doctor or actual veterinarian to see if he had what obviously Patrick said. And this causes everyone to jump to conclusions, and obviously, yeah, because of Patrick jumping to conclusions, the same with Squidward, it not only causes mass problems, but also pointing out the dangers of obviously jumping to conclusions, thinking that you've caught things like rabies and other like dangerous symptoms from someone's pet or animal. And there's also a reason why you need to sort of contact the owners, the vets, as well as a doctor to see if you have any other dangerous symptoms from someone's cat, dog, or obviously horse, as well as birds. Because a lot of the time, you need to get yourself checked, see if you haven't caught anything dangerous, and obviously you need to sort of contact the owners if you were bitten by someone's dog by mistake, or scratched by someone's cat, and see obviously if you have any other dangerous symptoms. And obviously the whole point of the episode is meant to point out the dangers of obviously jumping to conclusions, as well as obviously getting yourself checked by an actual doctor, which they do at the end. And it points out obviously the dangers of obviously believing some made up diseases and other things that you aren't aware of. And you can even tell right away, as soon as Squidward walks back into the Krusty Krab in a zombie state, it's clear that everyone around SpongeBob looking at Squidward make it obviously clear that they do seem to partly blame him for the whole mad snail disease fiasco, even though it was obviously on Patrick for jumping to that conclusion. And it also does point out why a lot of the time you also need to make sure that if it's some other reason why the animal might have attacked you. Because again, you can't really jump to conclusions, and you need to make sure that the animal has been properly checked if it was some other coincidence or some other reason. So again, is Once Bitten a good episode? Yes, but it's there to be like episode filler, and it's aware of that. So I think the episode definitely deserves a thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, but kind of okay. So, comic reviewer here, signing out.